women, they cried, and then they beat him with that barbed wire again. And they drug him off again. Well, this time when Joseph woke up, he didn't know what had happened because he woke up in his bed and he had no clue what was going on. He's like, why am I in my house? Why am I in my bed? And that's when Joseph got up and went out to the village. He realized that the whole village had decided to follow Christ. That third time going back and those tears led to surrender for those villagers, because Joseph was willing to sacrifice his comfort and his security to share the gospel. And through his suffering, they saw the suffering of Christ. And they saw exactly what Christ had done for them. But too often, we let security smother sacrifice. How often do we do that? Security smothers sacrifice, I'm telling you. It does. John 14:2, Jesus said, in my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? Jesus promises us plenty of security and comfort in heaven. And yet we are so concerned about our comfort and security on earth that we don't even tell people about heaven or the way to get there. John 3:16 tells us that God so loved the world that he sent his son Jesus to die for it. But we as people, we love the world so much that we find it difficult to follow Jesus a lot of times. Like I said, security smothers sacrifice. The truth is this: our time on earth is short, hell is real, and souls are at stake. What are we unwilling to sacrifice so that people can hear about Jesus and be saved? Are there things we are unwilling to sacrifice? Maybe it's our pride. Maybe it's that fear of man and what will other people think of me. But a lot of times it's just simply our comfort. It's our security. And that's why before we reach our neighbors with the gospel, my friend, let's make sure we start with our own heart. Let's start by applying the gospel to our own heart. Do we understand the sacrifice that Jesus paid on our behalf? Because he gave up the comfort of heaven for us and was nailed to a cross for us. Surely we can give up our comfort to share the gospel, or at least be willing to sacrifice a bit of it. Comfort can hold us back. But it's not just comfort. Money can also hold us back. And that's what we'll see second here. Verses 59 and 60. If we go back to the verses here, it says, then he said to another, follow me, Lord. He said, first, let me go bury my father. But he told him, let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and spread the news of the kingdom of God. Now, I remember as a kid, when we would read this passage, or when I would read it, or I'd hear about it taught, I always thought, man, that is so insensitive of Jesus. I don't know if any of you have ever thought that. I mean, when you read it on face value, it's like, really, Jesus? This guy can't even attend his dad's funeral? But when you study the passage, you start to understand it's a little different than maybe what it seems on face value. And we're going to see that. See, I don't think Jesus has a problem with us attending a loved one's